Hey guys, welcome back to now part 3 of my Berlin adventure. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, where I explored the history of the Berlin Wall, truly fascinating story, you can watch it right here. Or part 2, where I discuss everything to do with the Holocaust and the barbaric genocide of the Jews under Hitler's control. You can watch that right here. Now this video is all about the main tourist attractions there is to do in Berlin. Obviously the Berlin Wall, but there's so many other cool things to do, so I made this into a separate video. So to start off the video, I visit the Reichstag building, a famous government building that contains the glass roof, which apparently is the thing to see and do. So we're making our way up to the Reichstag building, some huge glass dome that's overlooking the whole of Berlin, I believe. It's very cold, lots of people in my way, but yeah, we're trying to make our way up to the top in this kind of circular walkway. No idea what to expect. Okay, so we made it to the top. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more, I don't know, more of like a view or a landscape on top of here. Yeah, I don't really see the point of this. Yeah, not really overlooking any kind of historical landmarks that I can see. I can see some, I don't know, some government meeting happening, a round table. Yeah, I mean, it's free to do, so why would you not do it? Okay, so it might have been a bit different to visit there in the day, but I don't know, I just kind of felt a little bit deflated when you make it to the top, because you get there and you're just like, is that it? If you want to see it for yourself, you need to book an appointment on the main government website and then provide details of all the people that will be visiting. It's free to enter, but it's just very official, and obviously being a government building that's still in use, security is a big thing here. So, you know, you get background checked, you get your bags checked through the airport-like scanner things. After strolling through town, I came across this weird statue of a man. However, it has a little man in between his legs with a concerning face. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, I've got no idea what it represents, as there was just no information around. I just thought it was funny, but yeah, there's no need to see this. So this is the Brandenburg Gate, a very popular tourist attraction in Berlin. So that's what it looks like at night, and with a clever bit of editing, let's see what it looks like in the day. And here it is in the day. Got this man literally giving me loads of bubbles. So you could just imagine the Third Reich army, the Nazis, just piling through the gate here during World War II, and also literally all along here, kind of to about here, was where the actual Berlin Wall was, and this is one of the first bits where it came down, I believe. Really cool part of history all around here. Now I went during the end of November / beginning of December, and you'll find loads of Christmas markets. You really get into the festive mood visiting here. Lots to see and do, including of course eating the German sausages and drinking the beer. There's even people providing music and playing their own quirky instruments. Ah, look at him, having the time of his life. After a lovely and not too far stroll further through town, I made it to a popular museum, the DDR Museum. A museum that's devoted to exploring life and everyday culture for locals that lived in East Germany, particularly during the time the Berlin Wall was up. It's a very hands-on experience where you can interact with lots of different things. Whilst feeling like you've transported through time, it literally feels like I'm walking through a 1970s Berlin household. The museum encourages you to touch, interact and ask questions. From choosing old styled outfits and looking all pretty, to turning wheels and looking at different things that I cannot remember now what for, to opening literally hundreds of cupboards and drawers which details objects and foods that were used back in the day.
Unsere Verankerung im Warschauer Pakt ist nicht zu rütteln. Lass mich bitte ausreden, Dieter.
And there's that too. There's also an old school children's nursery where you can feel like a big kid again and play and observe the old decor. You've got the chance to get behind the wheel of the iconic Trabant car for a simulated drive through East Berlin. They are having the time of their life. You can view some figures of naked people and learn about the nudist beaches that happened in Berlin. Very sexy indeed. You can see what prison life would have been like. I mean, I guess it looks the same as it does today, really. I also came across a little homage to the boss himself, Bruce Springsteen. He played in East Berlin in 1988, put on an amazing show and speech. Then 1 year later, the Berlin Wall came down. Many people believe it was down to what Bruce said and sparked people's spirits, but who knows? The next day, we felt like bringing our inner geek out, so we had a brisk walk to the Computer Spile Museum. Literally, this place is a goldmine for any gamers out there, featuring just tons of old school games consoles and memorabilia and everything in between. Just absolutely anything to do with gaming. You may remember this little game called Cool Spot on the Sega Mega Drive. I used to play this all the time. There's old school Pac-Man within a table arcade. Checking out the Atari 7800. Look at the control. How just basic. Wow, I don't think I've ever played on one of these before. Say that. Say that. There you go. Gotta get that cone. Yeah. It's kind of like a Pac-Man sort of game. Or even this for a console. The Intellivision Mattel Electronics. I have never heard of this system before. Look at the... Is this a control? With just one single button? And there's a couple of buttons on both the sides there. This is strange. So this is the direction using this silver thing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But what an interesting control layout. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, dead. Yeah, let's not do that. Looks like we've had loads of tech and game people in the industry, like Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, Ian Livingstone, co-founder of Games Workshop, co-founder of Xbox. What's his name? Ed Fries. Okay, never heard of him. Over here, some more Hideo Kojima from like Metal Gear Solid. Oh, Randy Pitchford owns Gearbox Software like for Borderlands. You may recall this character, Max Headroom, a fictional artificial intelligence that famously appeared in the 80s.
Later in the show, I'm going to be talking to the superstar with the 5-star talent. And
there's a prototype of the world's first home video game console called Odyssey, which released in 1972. Looks very basic and never heard of it, so there you go. But man, there's tons of old school consoles here on show, all going from the beginning to pretty much current video consoles today. There's Mega Drives, Sega Nintendos, Game Gear, Game Boy, Sega Saturn, N64, Dreamcast, PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube, and a personal favourite, the Sega Master System. There's even an Apple II computer from 1977, signed by Steve Wozniak himself. There's a few rooms dedicated to your classic arcade machines, which I lived on as a child. One of my favourites is this in the corner, the classic Daytona! Or Daytona USA. I spent so much money on this when I was a little Andy. It was such a cool racing game. Another classic was Sega Rally, but I never got to play on it. People kept hogging the game. But there's loads of arcades. I then tried to ride one-handed on the classic game Paperboy, where you had to deliver papers to people's houses on a bike. Whoops. Next up was a vintage looking arcade room that looked like something straight out of Stranger Things. I love the whole retro look, even featuring a fake counter to get your change. Oh, and there's mirrors in here too. Fantastic. You got the classic Donkey Kong game featuring Mario. Again, playing with one-handed is never recommended. Next up, I came across a very old school looking virtual reality headset and contraption. I never recall seeing this from back in the day. This is a promotional video from 1995. I'm presuming it didn't do very well if I've never heard of it, but then when you compare it to virtual reality of today, we've come some serious leaps and bounds. Then was a timeline of classic video games over the years, all featuring of course classics that we all played. Games like Lemmings leading little guys around to the exit, Sonic the Hedgehog doing what all hedgehogs do. We've got the game Zool doing whatever the hell it is he does again. But it's been a long time since I played this game. The original stealth master, Metal Gear Solid. The thing I wasted my childhood on, Tamagotchi. The game that made kids want to be an interior designer, The Sims. The classic animal fighting game, Pokemon. The game we all desperately hoped we could make her get naked, Tomb Raider. To the greatest franchise of all time, Grand Theft Auto. And this was GTA 4. I can't believe this game is 12 years old already. 2008 this game came out. Jeez. Next up is 3 failed gaming kits. VFX 1 VR headset. Yep, never heard of it. The Power Glove, where only 2 games worked with it. I'm guessing that's why it was a flop. And then the very well known Nintendo Virtual Boy. Unfortunately, there was a lot of problems with this, let alone a very expensive price tag, but yeah, this flops too. Hey, ever wanted to see the evolution of Mario? Well, now you can! 1981 Mario from the classic arcade machines, 1983 Mario from the NES, 1991 Mario from the SNES, 1996 Mario from the N64, 2002 Mario from the GameCube, 2006 Mario from the Wii, and 2018 Mario from the Nintendo Switch. Now that was fun, wasn't it? Next up was a cycling machine and a racing game. However, the computer has been set up with the cycling machine as the controller. So, to accelerate the car, you have to pedal, and obviously the faster you pedal, the faster the car goes. It's pretty cool. After making myself sweaty cycling on the bike, I thought I'd cool off by playing some Dance Dance Revolution. That was a silly idea, wasn't it? But to be honest, I don't think I've ever played the game. It's never really interested me, but you know what? It's not actually that bad. It does hurt your legs though after a while. Oh, it's my first time playing it.
Good job.
Thanks, man. Your turn. There were even sections of areas that were made up to look like a snotty-nosed teenager's bedroom from the 80s and 90s. There's Crash Bandicoot going on in here. Or we got this funky kitted out room where Super Mario is on. What you doing there?
Trying to get over my flag.
You can do it. They've really paid a lot of attention to detail here. There's something about these rooms that just makes retro look so cool. Cooler than what we're used to nowadays anyway. It's just hard to do with one hand, but... Right, okay, I can shoot. Alright, okay. This is very hard to do with one hand. Let me put it down. Alright, there we go. Oh, this is so hard to do with one hand. Just trying to control the controller in between my legs. Oh god, you're going too quick now. I love the decor here. Look at all this stuff. A Commodore. However, one of my favourite things on offer to do here was playing this beast. This is called the Pain Station. A play on the word PlayStation. It's a 2-player game where you can play Pong. A very simple game, however, it's been modded with a few side effects. You see, whenever you miss the Pong ball, you can either get your hand electrocuted, your hand becomes extremely hot, or your hand will get whipped. Playing in this extraordinary way really intensifies the game and puts both players on edge, as you really don't want to get a punishment for losing. It was first developed as an art project by a couple of students in Cologne, Germany, but it got quite popular within games conventions and went through a few upgrades. Before playing this, you literally have to sign a waiver pretty much saying whatever happens to you, the company is not liable for you. Of course, we carried on and played, but yeah, it's got to be one of my favourite games. even though there's pain involved and you will definitely endure pain, but yeah, it doesn't matter, it's just so much fun. You got ridiculed. Want to do it again? This is the greatest game ever.
Oh my god, you have like an actual circle stuck to you.
So the punishments are electrocution by holding your hand on these, heat coming out of here, and this is a plastic tube which hits you very, very fast. After resting my hand and having a long stroll through town, I arrived at my final destination. So I have made it to a car park. You may be thinking, why the hell am I at a car park in Berlin? What's so amazing about this place? Well, it is actually the Führer Bunker, or in other words, it was Hitler's bunker. This is the place. Massive location, all obviously underground, reinforced steel. I think like 42 meters underground, was it? Quite surreal. Like, this is where he was hiding. This is where he spent his last days and committed suicide, somewhere deep underground here. Very weird. I was here, very crazy. I don't know why they blew it up and destroyed it and made it into a car park, because this could have been quite a cash cow. You know, a lot of tourists would have come here and spent money to go through all his different rooms. You know, I would have paid money to do that. So yeah, now unfortunately it's just a car park. I mean, yeah, you might have walked past this and not even realised what a famous location that this is. Really, there's an information board up there detailing all the different rooms and how big of a scale it was. And it wasn't simply just a bunker with a bedroom in it, it was a whole house pretty much. There's his bedroom, living room and study, bathroom, supply room, a waiting room, a living room, switchboard room, generator room, Hitler's personal physician's room, first aid room, and even a servant's room, all underground. That is mental. In terms of eating out and prices, food is pretty good, it's varied and quite reasonable depending where you go. But that's it for the major attractions and, more importantly, my trip to Berlin. Well, thanks so much for joining me on my little adventure to Berlin. Remember to check out part 1 and part 2. I visited the Berlin Wall and areas that focus on the Holocaust. There was just so much to talk about them both that they just deserve videos of their own. But that's it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my adventures, don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you haven't checked out the rest of my traveling videos, I've left a little playlist floating around here. Right, well, until next time guys, I will see you in the next one. Alright, bye.